Race 1 is about to get underway for the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship. Jack Davison on pole after a fantastic weekend out at Cannon Park. Can he do it again? Well, here's Richard with a grid.
Thanks, Anthony. It's Jack Davidson on pole with Lachlan Behrman alongside, then Scott Cansdale and James Hillary. Nick Reeve followed by James Waite, then Harry Gooding and Gus Burton. Matt Greenwood next from Ollie Turner. The two Joshes, Steed and Hislop, still together. Jamie Lee Hawley, Bradley Kent, Thomas Horton and Warwick Dayden completing the grid. Good to welcome back Thomas Horton to the grid. Problems at Brands Hatch, event 1 of the year, had a broken engine mounting which put him out of the race and indeed out of the championship until the team have managed to get back on the grid for this weekend. We hope that they will do well. The lights are out for round 5 of the championship here on the national circuit at Silverstone. Great start by Jack Davidson. Lachlan Behrman in second, but coming under pressure from James Hillary in the black and white number 4. Scott Cansdale in blue looking to the outside. And then in orange, it's Nick Reeve chasing them hard. Those 5 getting away with at the moment, followed by James Waite. Harry Gooding coming into shot as well is Gus Burton, followed by Matthew Greenwood. But it's a very good start by the Scotsman, Jack Davidson, the championship leader, who is there. We're on board with Josh Hislop, bang into the back. Hislop having a very unwelcome tap on the rear end which sends him around. He has got an awful lot of work to do from the back of the field, and what an impressive field it is coming down the Wellington Straight here. And Cansdale has a brief look at Lachlan as the recovering 23 car, the Aberdonian Josh Hislop, newcomers cross on the back of the car, about to restart, but it's Jack Davidson out front through Luffield for the first time. It is such an impressive field. Coming under pressure, James Waite. Coming under pressure from Matthew Greenwood, the black and green car, with Gus Burton immediately behind. And then Ollie Turner in 22. Ollie Turner getting some guidance from Ryan Hooker, ex-Porsche driver, and the superkart star, Jack Layton. Superkart champion, we should add, of course. Here is the view from Scott Cansdale. White roll cage, but the blue exterior when we see the outfield shot. And he's challenging James Hillary at the moment. Hillary, the man who won round 1 of this year's championship at Brands Hatch. So it's a quality field. And talking of quality field, we've got last year's champion Harry Gooding there. He just goes through shots in the blue, white and orange car. Harry, of course, no defence of a championship is going to be easy, particularly when you start at the second event of the year. But the quality of drivers that we have in this championship now, absolutely superb. The quality in this championship is great, and of course the quality of the drivers moving onwards is good as well, as Nick Reeve looks for second place here. Third place rather. Nick Reeve looks through, goes through on the inside line of James Hillary and gets a foot on the podium, potentially at the expense of James Hillary, but James will fight back. Great race up front between Jack Davidson and Lachlan Behrman. We're on lap 4. Lachlan all over the back of the race leader at the moment, so Davidson far from having it his own way. Behrman 4th in the championship after Cadwell. Davidson leads the championship by 3 points from Nick Reeve. Then it's 11 points back to James Waite, further 4 points back to Lachlan Behrman, and then Matthew Greenwood, followed by Josh Steed and James Hillary, currently in 7th. That's before we have any drop scores kicking in, which we will start to look at in future rounds. Cansdale down the inside line here, side by side with Nick Reeve for 3rd place. And Reeve knows that he's got the inside if he can hold the outside line. A little bit of a wobbly moment there for Scott Cansdale. James Waite goes up the inside line, and we've got Harry Gooding trying to come through as well. Little bit of a gap back to Matt Greenwood at the moment. Greenwood up ahead of Gus Burton in the white Jam Sport car. So Lachlan Behrman goes on to lap 5, still chasing the race leader, Jack Davidson. Jack on pole for the second time this year. Nick Reeve was on pole at Cadwell. Davidson, therefore, of course, pole position at Brands Hatch. Here's the view from Scott Cansdale again. This has been a good drive from Cansdale, a racing rookie, but joined us at the end of last year at the Formula Ford Festival meeting in October. But this, his first full season, has had 1 10th place so far, 1 11th and 2 retirements. So he'll be hoping not to have any retirements at this weekend and start to get the feel of what he can do. Oh, and someone having a retirement there. That's Jamie Lee Hawley, our lady racer, off. So Jamie Lee into retirement. Sadly, the Widnes-based driver. That's her second retirement of the year. Meanwhile, this gaggle of cars running from third place to 6th or 7th, and in fact that changes now because Nick Reeve goes through. Nick Reeve, as we've got a problem clearly for Lachlan Behrman, still got the fastest lap, but Lachlan Behrman is dropping back, and I think we'll join Jamie Lee Hawley in retirement. So Nick Reeve up to 2nd, Scott Cansdale 3rd. There's Harry Gooding, defending champion. As we said, not an easy thing to do, come back into this championship, because not just the front running drivers, but all of the graduates of the Fiesta Junior Championship are making a lot of inroads into other formulae. And you've only got to look at the ones that have gone into Fiesta Junior racing, the likes of Danny Harrison, pole position and win at Brands Hatch in the Fiesta Senior Championship. There's Jamie Lee Hawley's car in the background being recovered. And also, of course, Lewis Kent, who is the championship leader in the seniors, graduating up from the juniors last year. James Hillary still there up ahead of James Waite. Here's the view from Scott Cansdale once again. 2nd place at the moment, and getting very close indeed to Nicholas Reeve. The fact that Lachlan Behrman has gone, still holding the fastest lap incidentally, Lachlan, it does mean that the pressure has been taken off Jack Davidson. So Davidson away, and the fact that we've got this scrap for 2nd place means that these two probably not doing themselves any favour in terms of catching in on the young Scot who is out front. And Davidson looking to take a 3rd win of the year. He's the only driver to have won at both rounds so far, and looking good to make it 3 as the waved yellows for Jamie Lee Hawley's car. So Davidson through, Reeve, Cansdale is next. Scott Cansdale trying to work out if he can get past. Just looking a little bit further back there, and Gus Burton all over the back of Matthew Greenwood, and is that's the white car with the black and green car on the inside. Greenwood, I think, is going to have the line into Brooklands where we are here. It's a job to know where to look, but still there in 2nd is Nick Reeve, but Scott Cansdale rides the curbs very tight there, outside line here at Luffield, coming round into Woodcote. This might potentially, if he's slightly wider in here, might give him some more momentum through Woodcote and onto the main straight. He was a little bit tighter there, maybe thinking about having a look up the inside, but doesn't at the moment have the momentum. And Nick Reeve, Romford Reeve, still out front and maintaining 2nd place. Here's this dice between Gus Burton and Matt Greenwood. Greenwood, the York-based driver, putting the pressure on. Gus Burton soaking it up at the minute and doing a super job of doing so. They're coming down the Wellington straight here. Bit of a gap between Burton and last year's champion Harry Gooding, who is just going out of shot now. Greenwood takes a wide line. He's going to look for the outside line, or maybe momentum into Luffield. It's not going to work for him here at Brooklands unless there's an error from Burton, but Burton doesn't make any mistakes, and indeed hasn't done so far in the racing. But look at that nice tight line here by Matt Greenwood, who's going to just pop up the inside line. That was a super move. Great racing between the pair of them, and Greenwood gets his nose in front, but Burton might carry some momentum here, you know, on the outside line, side by side for 2nd position, as well as Cansdale is going to go through. Cansdale goes through into 2nd place. Great move into Copse Corner by the number 6 car, the Bury St Edmunds racer, into 2nd. Nick Reeve down to 3rd, but will try and fight back. Cansdale looking for his first ever Fiesta Junior podium, and on that form, it's going to be very, very likely that he takes it. Matt Greenwood still chasing Gus Burton. Super drive between both of these drivers, and this is for 7th and 8th position. Here's the race leader though. Flawless stuff from Jack Davidson. Soaked up the pressure in the first 4 or 5 laps from Lachlan Behrman. Lachlan was only 0.07 of a second slower than Jack Davidson in qualifying, and therefore they were pretty evenly matched coming onto the grid, but Davidson spared that battle after whatever problems Lachlan had. So Davidson looking for a 3rd win, a win at each venue. He's going to extend the championship lead. He was 3 points clear of Nick Reeve coming into this round. He'll be delighted, I think, to see Scott Cansdale 2nd, because that means that Reeve will drop an extra point or so on Davidson in the championship after this first race of the weekend here. So Davidson rounds Beckett's for the last time, goes down the long straight here, and sometimes, you know, the pressure's actually more when you're on your own, because you can take your eye off the ball, but certainly there's been none of that at all from Jack Davidson. Into Luffield, the right-hander for the last time, a sweeping right-hander, slightly tighter than Beckett's, but the sight at the end of it is going to be a sweet one for the young Scot, who will take another win to add to his career. He's still not got the fastest lap, but comes down towards the checkered flag. It's wins that count. Jack Davidson therefore taking the win. Scott Cansdale on maiden podium in second from Nick Reeve, James Hillary, James Waite, Harry Gooding, Gus Burton and Matt Greenwood, then Bradley Kent, Ollie Turner, Warwick Dayden 11th from Josh Steed, then it was Tom Horton and Josh Hislop completing the finishes.
After an impressive round out at Cadwell Park, coming away victorious here at Silverstone, how are you feeling?
It was a good race, quite tough actually. Just tried to keep in front, you know, just keep doing consistent laps. Towards the end I kind of reined it in just to save the car maybe, just in case something happened, but you know, very good race.
Well, Scott, first podium ever, and how fitting it is here at the home of British Motorsport, Silverstone.
Yeah, it was hard, like in Friday practice we was down 2 seconds, and amazing guy Simon Crawford, I'd like to thank, found the problem and fixed it, managed to get good qualifying, and yeah, it just went from there really.
Nick Reeve coming into this round, you're second in the championship, just 3 points behind Davidson, but third place on the podium, not too bad.
Not too bad, no. Had a good fight with Scott all the way through. Managed to defend it from the first bit, slight mistake, let him through, and it meant I had to chase him down. Towards the end I was catching him, but not fast enough to be able to get past him in the end.
Final race of the weekend here at Silverstone for the BRSCC Fiesta Juniors. And it's Scott Cansdale who's on second place. Scott, it was your first podium in the first race, but now you've got the inside line going into the first corner.
Well, yeah, the first race was difficult. The tyres went off towards the end and dropped back to 5th at one point. But I'm really happy with how it's been going so far. And Simon Crawford, again, thank you for finding the problem with the engine. And yeah, it's just gone from there really.
Going into the first corner, it's crucial you get the start right.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, obviously from Jack and James and Nick. But we'll see what we can do.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, cars are heading out on track, so Richard, over to you.
Pole position then to Jack Davidson from Scott Cansdale, Nick Reeve and James Hillary next from James Waite and Harry Gooding, Gus Burton and Matt Greenwood on row 4. Row 5, Bradley Kent with Ollie Turner, then it's Josh Steed and Thomas Horton, Josh Hislop and Lachlan Behrman, Jamie Lee Hawley and Warwick Dayden at the back, Warwick getting a penalty for avoidable contact in race number 1. Green flag from the back of the field, round 6 of the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship about to get underway. Near perfect conditions, the lights are on. A long wait by the race officials on the gantry, but we are running, and already Lachlan Behrman looking to make up positions from the very back of the grid, but it's the race 1 winner, championship leader Jack Davidson, who leads. Second position is James Hillary, car number 4. James Waite is away. Gus Burton already involved in battle again with Matt Greenwood. And then just ahead of us at the moment, Bradley Kent. We're on board with Ollie Turner, and there goes, look at that, through goes Lachlan Behrman, past about 3 cars at once, has a little bit of hip and shoulders. My colleague Paul O'Neill would say a massive bouncy moment there for Matthew Greenwood. That was a very severe bit of bouncing across the curbs at Beckett's, but he is made of stern stuff, fires it up. If it needed firing up, I don't think it did, but more importantly pops it in gear, and he's back to rejoin the chase as Nick Reeve goes down the inside line of the number 4 car and goes very heavily into Brooklands, but held it all up. So Reeve will probably look to try that again on future laps. He found the limit there for sure, runs a little bit wide, he's still got momentum, and James Hillary looking for second place up on the inside line. 4th position at the moment is James Waite, 5th is Scott Cansdale, then Harry Gooding. Following Harry Gooding, it's Gus Burton. I think immediately behind Burton, now already up into the top half of the field, is Lachlan Behrman, the Epping-based driver, who, remember, set the fastest lap in race number 1 on lap 4. So he really did take the battle to Davidson in the early stages of the race, but wasn't able to maintain it. Here we are on board with Lachlan again. This is a great view of the Beckett's corner. You see track going off at different angles because of the different track configurations that can be used here at Silverstone Circuit. Ultimately, of course, on the national circuit, we come down the Wellington Straight. This is where Behrman may well be able to nick another position, perhaps down the inside line into Brooklands, or he might try and brave it out on the outside line. He's going to go through on the inside here of the defending champion, Harry Gooding. Keeps it tight. He'll look to run out if he's got clear towards the curb, which he does, but there's a little bit of contact going on in front. Cansdale has a little rub, and look at that from Harry Gooding. Super move by Gooding, who was right close and ready for that moment there. Nick Reeve had a tiny rub with Scott Cansdale, and Harry Gooding read that well to go back in front of Lachlan Behrman. Superb racing. You get overtaking aplenty here. There's no overtaking going on for the lead though, because Jack Davidson is out and away and on to lap number 3, looking to be the first driver to grab a double this weekend. But here comes Gus Burton now, challenging race 1 second place man Scott Cansdale. Side by side those two are. Burton looking to try and make the move. There's Davidson going through, and all this now has meant James Waite now second place from James Hillary. Then Nick Reeve looking up the inside line. Super racing from the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship. If you're looking for a championship for your youngster to come into, you might even be a young viewer yourself looking to move up from karts, this is the place to come and race if you are looking for a tin top future. But look at Behrman again here, maybe making up 2 places. Got past Harry Gooding again on the inside line. This is what he did a lap or so back. Makes it stick again exactly the same way as he did before, but this time he hasn't got the shenanigans going on in front, which means that Gooding doesn't get the opportunity to go back past. We're on board with Ollie Turner. Warwick Dayden immediately in front of us. Thomas Horton, the Woodbridge-based youngster, getting some meaningful mileage again, which is great to see. The privateer team feeling their way into the formula. And we'll see what Turner can do here. Ollie Turner comes from Evesham, looks to the outside line of the Kent base, race number 88. Warwick Dayden comes from Hextable. His debut with us, I think, back in 2015. Did a brace of races then. Same again at the end of last year, and having a full season, hopefully, with us this year. This is the view of that pack, all chasing for podium positions at the moment. And going through Beckett's race leader Jack Davidson, based in Falkirk. He's in the blue and white car, good lead at the moment, ahead of James Waite's cracking scrap on for 3rd place, headed at the moment by James Hillary, round 1 winner at Brands Hatch, podium in the 2nd race at Brands, was off the podium at Cadwell, had what was effectively a retirement in race number 1, and then a 4th position in race 2. Great drive from him to come through, and he's in line for some decent points here as we look at the rear end of Nick Reeve once again. So the hard work is done coming out of Beckett's corner, and now it's down this long straight, so a little bit of respite, but nonetheless the driver's having to think about where they're going to place the cars. And our onboard man is the black and fluorescent yellow car, immediately behind Scott Cansdale, coming under pressure from Gus Burton. Burton's going to try and go through. A little tap on the back end, I think, there for Burton, but it doesn't dislodge the car at all, so Burton escapes not a potential penalty. Only if he'd have fired him off he might have had one, but yeah, just a little bit of contact between the two. Rubbing is racing, they always say. Harry Gooding in behind. Good performance in behind Gooding as well for Bradley Kent. Bradley Kent, who's started every race so far, getting quicker and quicker now, as coming under pressure is James Hillary from the number 12 car of Nick Reeve in orange. The Specialised Motorsport car goes up the inside line. Hillary gets forced wide, and I think he's going to lose out to Lachlan Behrman here as well, as they go through Maggots, heading up in towards Beckett's corner. James Waite 2nd, Reeve is 3rd, Behrman is now up into 4th place, and James Hillary down to 5th, but Hillary might look at the inside line. We're on board with Behrman again, all over the back end here of Nicholas Reeve, who powers his way out of Beckett's, starts to put a couple of lengths between himself and the chaser. But let's look how effective Behrman is here. This is one of Behrman's favoured passing places. We're not going to see it here. We are going to see Scott Cansdale having a go down the inside line of James Hillary, which he does, but runs a little bit wide, and as a result gets Gus Burton and Harry Gooding all over him as well. Lap 13 of this 20-minute race. It should again go to 17 laps, And Scott Cansdale coming under pressure here from James Waite, who we saw originally holding second place but has dropped back, and he's got a lot of work to do to get back onto the podium. Gus Burton immediately behind. So Lachlan Behrman now in second place, then Nick Reeve in third, and this main battle here on for fourth place with Scott Cansdale on the outside line and going very wide there indeed, and Gus Burton coming up on the inside line. Burton's going to make a place. Here's Lachlan Behrman, who's up into second where he was at the start of the meeting. This is almost like a bookended race meeting, isn't it? Because we had Davidson and Behrman at the front in qualifying, and the pair of them still very much 1 and 2, but a nudge there on Cansdale, who goes into the 17 car of James Waite, who manages to get it all going again. Immediately the yellows are out. James Waite recovers from that. Gus Burton immediately behind. Then we've got Bradley Kent in the 38 car as well, but contact between Cansdale and James Waite, and that has not done Cansdale any favours at all. The man who was on the podium race 1, he's going to have to take the big positives of being on that podium from race number 1 away with him from this weekend. It's not going to be another podium in this one. So Cansdale is out. Here's Lachlan Behrman once again. Davidson, remember, the race leader. Fastest lap for Davidson on lap 3. Behrman still trying to close him down. Nick Reeve is in third, and Reeve's consolation here, potentially a second podium of the weekend and not losing too many points on the championship leader Jack Davidson, who is away and down the road. A very healthy lead from Jack Davidson. There is Lachlan Behrman, super drive from the back of the field, a gritty, determined drive from Lachlan after that non-finish in race number 1. He'll be gutted, of course, not to have this man in immediate sight. Jack Davidson on his way to make it 2 starts and 2 wins. That's what he does. A fastest lap in this race as well, some 8 seconds clear of Lachlan Behrman, who will take second place. Nick Reeve in third there in orange. Gus Burton, super result for Gus Burton, who comes across the line in a best ever 4th place, edging closer to that elusive at the moment podium, but not far away. Davidson, Behrman, Reeve, Burton in 4th, James Waite next to Bradley Kent, James Hillary, Ollie Turner, Josh Steed, Josh Hislop, Jamie Lee Hawley in 11th from Warwick Dayden, Thomas Horton completing the finishers in 13th.
Jack, another Garland, another trophy, another win. You've got to be pleased.
Yeah, definitely. The race was, although I was at the front for all the race, it was quite hard, you know. Had to keep pushing the car just so Nick and everybody else didn't catch up.
Lachlan, disastrous start to the weekend, but what a race that was, 14th to 2nd.
Yeah, it was. I just kept my head down, got a great start and just never looked back really. It was absolutely perfect how the race went. I don't think I could thank Jamsport enough, and my dad's really just helped me get to where I am. He's done an absolutely great job of helping me out.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you've earned it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.